Hello, I'm Tori from Aegis Business Services. We're an accounting and bookkeeping firm on the outskirts of Brisbane. My update today is to give you some information about the turnover test for determining JobKeeper eligibility. This has been updated overnight by the ATO. So they've updated their information on their website dated the 17th of April. There's two tests to apply for the turnover test. There's the basic test and the alternative test. At the moment, they haven't given us any further information on the alternative test. The alternative test is where businesses may have been in business only for a few months, so they weren't in business 12 months ago, they've acquired another business, their business has changed dramatically and they want to be able to show a different way that their turnover has dropped. We haven't got any more information on that one yet. However, the basic test, they've clarified a few things here. So for the basic test, you're comparing to a comparable test period last year, 2019. First of all, you have to identify the period. And to be eligible for wages paid in April, you have to compare either March this year with March last year, April this year projected, obviously, because we haven't finished April, with April last year, or the April to June quarter. Again, this year, you'll be looking at projected figures and you'll be comparing to last year's actual figures. There's been some questions as to whether we're looking at accruals or cash-based. Accruals is based on when you're invoicing or when you've actually done the work. Cash-based is when you've actually received the cash. So for businesses who may still have normal invoicing at the moment, however, their debtors are blowing out, their customers are not paying or their customers are on payment plans, this might be a better way to work out the turnover test to be more favourable. If you can't meet the turnover test for March or April, or for the April to June quarter at the moment, you've still got an opportunity to enrol for May's wages, June's wages, so on and so forth. But in that case, for example, May, you will only be able to use May's figures against May last year, or the April to June quarter compared to the April to June quarter. You can no longer use March by itself or April by itself if you want to enrol from May. So once you've worked out that turnover quarter or period that you're going to use, so a month or a quarter, a really quick way to have a look to see how you compare is for the period last year, the actual figures, just multiply it by 70%, and that will give you the figure that you need to have less than for the current period. So a correction there, I think I mentioned that you could choose cash or accruals. You can only choose cash if your BAS is on cash. If your BAS is on accruals, you must use accruals. If your BAS is reported on a cash basis, you can choose between accruals and cash. And that's been clarified by the ATO last night. You don't have to compare the same as your BAS reporting period. So if you report quarterly for BAS, you do not have to use a quarterly figure. You can use a monthly figure. And same with if you report your BAS monthly, you can use a quarterly figure. And the other point to note is that you can enrol in the JobKeeper system from the 20th of April. However, if you want to be considered in the first lot of reimbursements from the 4th of May, you need to enrol sometime between the 20th of April and the 30th of April. If you enrol after this period, it doesn't preclude you from using the April wages. It just means you won't be included in the first round of reimbursements. Another thing, good point to note, the ATO has also said, please don't everybody try and enrol at 8 o'clock on Monday, the 20th of April. I'm sure the ATO system will crash if everybody does it. As long as you've enrolled by the 30th of April, you'll be eligible for the first round of reimbursements. I hope that clarifies a few questions that some of you may have had over the weekend, and get in touch if you need some help. So I'm Tori Vanderdonk from Aegis Business Services, Knowledge, Support, Guidance.